What a beautiful day. Well, it is actually, isn't it, Sam? This is racing driver Sam, who takes part in many of our drag races. It is a beautiful day because we've got two cool 911s. We've got the Turbo S and the GT3, and we're going to find out which of these is best by going on an epic road trip. So where we're heading to?
We're going to go to Spa.
We're going to Spa in Belgium. So we're here at the Channel Tunnel. We're going to go underneath the channel, through France, into Belgium, to the Spa racing circuit. On the way, we're going to compare the cars on the motorway, in town, and on some twisty roads. And then what we're going to do?
We're going to do a head-to-head on track, which is quicker from a racing driver's point of view, which is quicker from a journalist's average driver point of view.
You'll see which I'm quickest in, the Turbo S or the GT3, and we'll see which the professional racing driver is quickest in, and what the difference is between a normal driver, me, and a racing driver. It's going to be interesting. Let's get in the cars because I'm actually soaking already.
Car wow.
Ryan, off we go. Heading onto the weird underground, undersea car train thingy. Yeah, you'll see what I mean in a moment. Blimey already. This GT3 with its firm suspension over those bumps, it's a little bit firm. I've got cameraman Thomas with me.
Hey.
We're all squeezing here together, aren't we? Getting nice and cosy.
Definitely. Can't wait for the next 3 hours.
3?
How many?
It's like 5 or 6.
Oh god.
Did no one tell you?
No.
I wonder why. Now with the car train, it's actually very narrow to get on, and so I've got in the special queue for like vans and like people with caravans because it's wider. I want it wider because I don't want to curb these alloy wheels because they do sit quite proud. I wonder if they'll let me get away with it though and go in that special wider carriage. I'm just chancing it, we'll find out. Here we go, the Eurotunnel train. I'm sort of committed to this queue now. They can't send me back because it's going to cause absolute chaos. Sometimes it's best not to ask for permission. Just go right ahead and do it and hope for the best. Here we go, look, nice and wide, not worried about my alloy wheels. Perfect. Oh, it's really severe over those bumps in between the two carriages. Have you been on this before, Thomas?
Never. It's been my dream, to be honest.
It's been my dream.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be on the Euro train.
Really?
Yeah, it seems interesting. But Sam told me that it's only 30 minutes and it's just this.
Why would this be your dream? You're basically underground in the dark, just in a carriage.
I thought there was some catering and people and you would get to just like walk around.
Or it'd be like SeaWorld and you'd be able to see like all the aquatic life because you're going through the water.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. It's basically like being in a big shed that moves. You're right, Sam. My car's like making weird clanking sounds over bumps.
I'm watching you. It's like it's a brick. It's so funny to watch.
I hope it's not broken. Listen.
Oh.
What's that? It sounds like something's loose.
I think it's the train, Matt, not yours.
No, it was doing it earlier.
Oh, good. That's reassuring.
I think there might just be some stones in somewhere that are rattling about. There's literally no soundproofing on this car.
What are the odds we don't fit in the same carriage together?
Well, if they call me forward, then very high.
Try and tell her. I don't think it'll make a difference. Speak to her.
Do you know how charming I'm not?
It's because you're from Birmingham.
Oh, love, we want to be together. Oh, we're fine, look, she's locking that one up. Winner, winner. I don't feel like I should go forward anymore. This dual clutch is a bit grabby at low speeds. Bit consumer journalism there. I want to show you this. Poor Thomas isn't that comfortable, look. He's got my sack between his legs. Because I chose to go in the GT3 first, it's the least practical of the rather not too practical Porsche 911s. This is the turbo, you've got back seats where you can put things. Maybe we can try and squeeze that bag through the gap. If I pull this chair forwards, shall we have a go? So if I pull this forwards like that, I've got a really full sack. Can you get through there? We've got to get it through the gap then, in there, in the roll cage. Go on, squeeze it through there. Look, that's good enough there.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, perfect. Won't be able to get anything out of there now. Oh, we did it. Result. Are you comfy now?
Yes.
You got leg space?
Yeah. Feels like premium economy.
Hello. How's it going in here?
It's good. It's very cozy. I enjoyed watching you go over the bumps. It was funny.
What did you say to me?
You've got more space than us. Not got much fuel left already.
No, it used a bit. How big's the tank in this? It didn't last that long, really.
Not very big. Maybe we'll pop it up on screen.
I put it in soft mode just over the bumps in the train. It was a lot easier on my back.
I've chosen the wrong car for the drive down.
Yeah, and I've adjusted my lumbar.
Shut up, I don't want to hear about it. I've got no lumbar support. I've got no lumbar anymore as a result of it.
And I've gone on level 1.
All right, shut up. Yeah, this is definitely more comfortable and more luxurious.
It is. And faster. Win-win.
But is it faster on track? We're going to find out. Okay, that's both cars refueled, and it cost €145 for the two of them. To be fair, fuel is a little bit cheaper here in France than it is in the United Kingdom. Now what I'm going to do is reset the trip computer on both cars, and we're going to see the fuel economy when we're just cruising going to our location in Spa, and then we'll also work out the average economy of each car when they're driving on track. And do you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to add up the total cost of all the fuel we spend over the trip. Could be quite shocking. So we're on the move now. Beautiful weather, great for a trip across Europe. Now this car is fitted with Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres, which are very much biased to dry weather and track use. Not ideal for this. So I'm a little bit cautious with the fact that I've got such wide rear tyres and it's wet that there is a risk of aquaplaning. The Turbo S is on Pirelli P0s, which are a more all-round tyre, better for these conditions. Yeah, this is not great weather. Hopefully it's not going to be like this, God, when we're on track tomorrow. Another thing I'm noticing about this GT3 is when I'm just cruising motorway speed, there's like just a constant droning sound from the engine. This engine sounds beautiful when you're revving it out, but when you're just cruising and it's sat at 3,000 RPM, it's a little bit whiny. And I'll tell you another thing I've noticed. Sound insulation, not great in this car. You can hear the tyres on the surface of the road just constantly just obviously this car is stripped out to make it as light as possible. I am moaning about, oh God, I can't see at all. I'm moaning about having to drive a 911 GT3. Another thing I'm going to moan about while I'm at it is this, cruise control. This one is fitted with old-fashioned cruise control, and I can't be bothered to use it because unless there's absolutely no other vehicles on the road, it's more hassle than it's worth because it doesn't automatically slow the car or accelerate to keep you a safe distance from the car in front, and it doesn't steer to keep you in lane. So you might as well just do it all yourself. It's pointless. Anyhow, I'm going to give Sam a call and see how he's faring in the more luxurious Turbo.
Hello, Matt. How are you, bud?
Well, I'm all right, you know. It's not ideal conditions for this car. How are you in the Turbo S?
I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed. I've got the seat just where I want it. I'm pretty happy, really. You look like you're bouncing up and down behind me, so I hope you're having fun.
Yeah, sort of having fun. I'm looking forward to the fun I'm about to have in this car when we finally get to the track. Speaking of the seat, my seat moves forwards and backwards and up and down, but I can't recline it because I've got the £3,800 optional upgraded carbon fibre bucket seats. There's no heating in them either. I've got a cold bottom. How is your bottom?
It was actually too hot, so I've cooled it off a little bit. But if it gets too cold, I'm going to go back up maybe to 1 on the heated seat.
That is quite a cool cruiser. Have you got the cruise control on as well?
I've got adaptive cruise and lane, I don't know, is it called lane holding, whatever that is? I'm just a passenger, really.
Yeah, I'm definitely driving this thing. I suppose it's changing gears itself at least, and it's wiping its own windscreen.
Have you got 8 gears? I've got 8.
No, I've got 7. I've got 1 less than you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it goes with the engine in this car, you see. It's the older gearbox.
So, in a game of top trumps, I'm winning, is what we're saying, isn't that right?
Yeah, well, one of the benefits of that 8th gear is that you've obviously got more of an overdrive top gear. With that in mind, what's your consumption? Because my average fuel consumption since we reset is 24.7 miles to the gallon. What are you doing?
I'm still winning, 24.8. Come on.
You're winning at everything at the moment, aren't you?
I'm also currently doing 1,500 RPM.
1,500?
Yeah.
I'm doing 3,000.
Yeah.
Right, we've had a bit of a drive. We're about 2 hours away from the hotel at Spa Circuit. I thought it only fair from a motoring journalist point of view for us to switch cars.
No,
it's consumer advice. We need to test both cars and understand.
Okay.
Right, here's the keys for this one. You're definitely taking the GT3. Hello, how you doing? Sorry, getting heckled by people. Right, so yeah, I'm going to take the turbo. There we go. So, you've been enjoying that?
It's really good.
You will enjoy this. It's
I
not
know,
as bad
I
as
know.
people think, right? It wasn't that bad, like for long distance. I would happily put up with it because I think it looks cooler and it's better value. It's cheaper. £135,000. That starts at like £169,000.
Yeah, but it's refined, isn't it? That's why. There's all good things in it to make it more comfortable for these long 200-mile journeys we're doing. That's not meant for that. That's meant to go around a track really fast. This is to go everywhere really fast and comfortably.
Well, I'm just about to go everywhere really fast and comfortably. Get in the less comfortable car.
Fair enough.
Well, this turbo is very nice, though I definitely feel like I'm sat inside a vagina. It's just a bit too red. I like the fact that you get a lot of equipment as standard on the Turbo S. So look, I've got surround view cameras, which is handy when reversing out of here. Didn't have it on the GT3. In fact, this car has about £9,000 worth of options, which is not that many options for a Porsche. The GT3 has £25,000 worth of options. You have to pay extra for things like the ceramic brakes. Both cars have the top of the range Porsche light system. They are an option on this, but they only cost you an extra £400. On the GT3, they're like £2,500. Do you know what? I've driven about 50 metres and already it just feels quieter, more luxurious and more relaxing in here. Both cars have adaptive suspension, but this seems a little bit softer in its softer setting than the GT3. And while the GT3 has 3 driving modes, so there's like normal, sport and sport plus, this has an extra one called wet, which I'm going to deploy now because it is wet. Sounds pretty decent as well. Not as good as the naturally aspirated GT3, but pretty nice when you accelerate, though this does have the optional sports exhaust. That is one of the few extras that you do have to pay for on this car, and you will want it. Yeah, I still think this interior is too red. It's too red, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's too red. At least I can recline my seat. And where's that heated seat? Where's the heated seat? He was talking about the heated seat. Where is it? I can't remember. I had a 911 Turbo S. I've forgotten where the blooming heated seat is. Ah, there it is. I've got the memory of a goldfish. Here's Sam in the GT3. Gotta say, if I'm going to GT3, I definitely have the normal one, not the touring. I think it looks cool with that wing. I really do. I'm not sure as well whether the sun is setting so everything seems red, or it's just the interior of this making everything on the outside seem red as well. Anyway, let's see how Sam's getting on. I'll just call him quickly. Hey Sam, how's your new car?
I can't see anything out the back of it. I'm deaf because it's so noisy. My lower back is killing me, but apart from that, it's really good.
So you preferred this?
I do prefer that. I'm built for comfort now. My combat days are over, Matt.
Yeah, you see, Sam does a little bit of cage fighting and he's finding that uncomfortable, and this is a man that actually enjoys getting punched in the nose. I was fine with the GT3. I was like, I'll put up with it. I like the car. It's visceral. You get sensations from it. It's good. I like it for that. But jumping into this Turbo S, it feels like such a softer car, and it's going to be interesting to see how it compares on track. Is it really going to be at a massive disadvantage because it's quite clearly a lot softer on the road? Will that affect it on the circuit? I don't know. I don't care right now because I'm actually rather comfortable with the warm bottom. My bottom's now warm, Sam. How's yours?
It's the temperature it was when I sat in it because I have no control over that. I'll tell you something else. Like, look how pointy this is. Any little movement and the car just darts. It's just terrifying.
Yeah, this is not quite so responsive. I'll tell you one thing that I'm really pleased about with this car. The active cruise control with lane keeping assist. There we go. So yeah, using a radar, keeping me a safe distance from the car in front, actively steering to keep me in lane, and it works great in busy traffic like this. You can't use the normal cruise control system without those added features when it's like this. It's just too much hassle. Poor Sam, with friends like me, who needs enemies? We've finally arrived at our hotel right at the circuit at Spa. So tomorrow we're going to be on track.
Yes.
Who's going to be quicker between me and you?
You, of course.
I know, we know that. We know you're going to be quicker. We're going to find out how much quicker you are than me, though. That's going to be interesting. But I think I'm going to be quicker in the Turbo S, but I think you're going to be quicker in the GT3.
I think if it's damp, you'll be quicker in the Turbo S. I think if it's dry, you'll be quicker in the GT3.
And how about you? Do you think you'll be quicker in the Turbo S or the GT3?
I don't know. It depends on the drag. I think because Spa, it's such a high-speed circuit, I think that may have the legs on the GT3. It's whether the minimum corner speeds can be picked up.
Well, okay, wait. Let me get this straight. You think that I'm going to be quicker in the GT3 than the Turbo S, but you think you're going to be quicker in the Turbo S than the GT3, and I think the complete opposite?
Yes.
Brilliant. Today's a new day and we're going to head out and compare these cars on track, but before we do, let's compare their engine noises. This car has a 4-litre naturally aspirated flat six which puts out 510 horsepower and 470 newton meters of torque. It drives the rear wheels only via a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. The beauty of this engine is it revs all the way up to 9,000 RPM and you want to be able to enjoy that, don't you? So I'm going to rev it up. Oh no, look, we've got a soft limiter. However, one of the good things about the GT cars is if you put them into drive, put your left foot on the brake, pull up both pedals, it lets you rev them. Now you can do that actually when you're driving along without your foot on the brake to just impress people as you drive by them. Anyway, let's have a listen to that turbo. Don't think it's going to be quite as fruity.
So, I'm sat in a 911 Turbo S with a 3.8 litre flat six with 650 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque, powered by an 8-speed gearbox. It's permanent 4-wheel drive. I am in sport mode and I'm going to give it a rev. Oh, soft limiter.
That's enough of that nonsense. Let's compare what these cars are like to drive because really that's what matters. Right, so we're going to head out on track, but before we do, we're going to drive both cars on some normal roads. See how much fun they are or aren't when you're on a country road, but also in town, which is where we're heading to now, okay?
It's already stiff though, isn't it?
I'm already, no, yeah, it's already stiff.
I love.
Anyhow, so a lot of people complain about this car being really fun suspension. He said it's already stiff, but I don't actually find it that uncomfortable.
I think it's dependent, it's a personal thing, isn't it? Ride comfort. Some people like that reassuring hop and stiffness, other people find it bone rattling. So I think it's more what you like more than what you feel.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly because I think it's firm and it's noticeably, of course, it's noticeably firm, but there's firm and crashy and there's firm and well damped, and that's what this is. It sort of like rounds the edges off the bumps, whereas some other really firm cars are just like jarred like that, whereas this, you can tell it's got sophisticated damping. That's me being a motoring journalist.
Yeah, well, it's typically Porsche, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything they do is refined and good.
Yeah.
But it's still firm.
But it is still firm. You're right, it's firm, but not uncomfortable. Anyhow, when I'm driving this car, right, I never really have it in automatic, so I'm going to put it into manual now because I like to just control the gears, even at low speeds, because then you can just mess around with that engine, which is just glorious. And the way this thing changes gears like that, you can just have fun even at low speeds.
I do that flick as well. When I watch my onboards racing, I do this weird flick like this. I don't know why.
Okay, now one of the things that this car has is rear wheel steering, which makes it stable at high speeds, but it also improves the manoeuvrability at low speeds. So I'm going to do a U-turn now because I'm bored of driving in town. That's not what this car is about. Let's go onto some twisty roads. Do you think I'm going to make it round without curbing those alloy wheels?
Almost certainly not.
Okay, right, here we go. Look at that. Almost certainly not.
Yeah,
Man has been proved wrong. You can live with it if you absolutely have to.
But you can live with a back problem, can't you? It's more of a choice.
Okay, you know, I'm not selling it to you, am I? Okay, let's get out on some better roads. Okay, here we go. This is more like it. I want to rev it all the way to like 9,000 RPM, but then I'm well over the speed limit, so you just can't. This car is so quick. So planted and very, very good on a road like this. Do you know what? I think if I'm out driving mainly on roads rather than on track, I'd have the manual version, wouldn't you?
It is really, really good. But I think on track I'd prefer the manual because it's more fun.
Really? I'd have the PDK on track because it make me quicker, but on the road I'd have the manual because it's more involving.
Yeah, but are you looking for lap times or are you looking for enjoyment? That's a big divide, isn't it?
So I will get more enjoyment out of the manual on the road because I can't go that fast, so I want that extra interaction with the car.
Yeah.
But on track, I don't want to be worrying about changing gear and using my clutch and stuff like that. I want to just be on the pedals because that's just more enjoyable for me on track. Got to remember, I'm not a racing driver like you, so I need every bit of help on track that I can get.
What about when you're in traffic? It's nice to not have a clutch then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but overall, this is the kind of car I'd take out for fun because I don't think you have a GT3 and no other cars, do you?
No, this is one of your stable mates, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that engine sounds so good. And when you've got the manual and you're changing gear and you're like dropping the clutch, you feel really connected to that engine. It feels actually more powerful, the manual, somehow or other, than with the PDK. Anyway, that's enough GT3. Let's jump into the turbo. I thought we'd let Sam drive for this one, seeing as you're all about the comfort, mate. It's better, isn't it?
This is so much more civilised, isn't it? I've got my heated seat. I'm comfy. I've got good lumbar support because you know my back's quite bad. It's just good. It's quiet. We can hear each other. It's lovely.
Okay, yeah, so compared to a normal car though, it's not that quiet, but compared to the GT3, it is quiet.
Yeah, and I'm willing to take that little bit of a hit on the refinement because they're still in a supercar. You know, if you're just in a normal car and it's really loud, well, where are the pros to that?
Yeah.
This is arguably one of the fastest cars on the road, so you have to put up with a little bit of road noise. But the GT3 isn't one of the fastest cars on the road, and it's really noisy.
Oh, wow! And it's easy to drive this thing slowly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering the performance it's got. You can just tickle it along, no problem at all. It's all relaxing. The interior with all the leather everywhere, it just feels luxurious. It's well built. It's a lovely thing to be in, and there's rear seats as well. So for me, as a father of a young child, you can fit a child seat in this car. Actually, I'll put it in the front seat and someone can just about sit behind you. You know what we've got to do now though? U-turn test.
Yes.
Like with the GT3, you've got rear wheel steering. Do you know what I'd do first though? Watch this, watch this. Let's get the cameras up. You've got 360-degree view vision.
How did you do that? But I
just whacked into reverse.
all right, but I'm not reversing. I'm going forwards.
No, but I'll put it into reverse to bring the camera up.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
there's a button you can press, but I don't know what it is. Okay, we'll just wait here for a bit.
It looks like we found ourselves.
So I made it round in one go. This should as well because it's got the same setup really as the GT3.
Let's let this last car go. Can it be good?
Let's car go. You want some snails?
No.
I know we're in Belgium, but
Do they eat them here?
probably.
Oof, poor snails.
Do you know how they prepare them?
I've no... boil them, I guess?
So I had some French friends and they used to go snail picking, and what you do with the snail, you have to get rid of the impurities in the snail. So you have to flush it out, and what they do, they put them in a bucket and add water and slowly increase the salt content. Anyway, we made that round just about. Yes, look at that.
There you go.
Anyway, back to the snails. So
Yeah.
they steadily increase the salt content to flush them out. So these snails slowly get, I don't know, like killed by salt.
Worst story I've ever
I know.
heard.
I don't know how true that is, or if it's like a false memory from when I was a kid. If you're French and watching this, let me know in the comments below, or if you're a chef maybe, or if you've got the internet and can just quickly Google it for us. We can't while driving. So you'd have no idea the performance available in this car, would you, at the moment? No idea at all.
But I've got this button.
Stop, don't mess with the button yet.
Okay.
We're in normal mode, so let's be normal. So this is fine round town. It is better than the GT3 round town. I could live with the GT3, but this is not a case of having to live with it. It's just very pleasant. Go on then.
Can we turn the magic button?
You don't really need to, but you can. There we go. Whoop, here we go. Whoa, stop, that's the limit. Right, straight away. Thing with the GT3, to feel that performance, you have to rev it out.
Exactly.
And so when you get in that real like top end rush in it, you're going well over the speed limit. With this, that torque comes in straight away, and I was just pushed straight back in my seat.
It's ridiculous. And if that's not an experience for you, I don't know what is. This is awesome. And it revs on the downshift, or blips. Listen to that.
Whoa.
And it's four-wheel drive.
And it's four-wheel drive, so you got grip, yeah. And to overtake cars in traffic, you'll whiz past people in the GT3, but it's even quicker in this, which makes it safer.
Exactly. You're finishing my argument off, but I think you're changing your mind now.
No,
And off roundabouts.
Whoa!
Just awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? As like a combined supercar daily driver. I mean, the only problem is the limited space that you've got in here, but it's not as bad as that GT3 with its lack of rear seats.
But I mean, are we going to call them rear seats?
If you've got kids, they can go back there. And I've
They'll be
squeezed
all
my
right.
girlfriend Jo back there with the baby seat in the front. So then, talking about track, let's head out and find out which car I'm quicker in and which car you're quicker in. And the difference between our times could be embarrassing for me. All right then, finally we're heading out on track. We're in the Turbo S first. Thanks to trackdays.co.uk for letting us do this. You're not normally allowed to do timing or filming anything like that on a track day, but we've got special permission to do this. So thanks to those guys. Check them out if you want to go on a track day. Right, here we go. We're in Sports Plus mode, which is the sportiest mode, manual mode for the automatic gearbox. Oh, Sam, immediately, that acceleration. You can't really experience that fully on the road, can you?
It's so quick, isn't it?
Hi, Rouge, be brave. Turn in, let it roll through. Oh, on the power now. And that torque for just overtaking slower cars. It's really good. And we're getting some speed down this straight, aren't we? Hopefully the brakes are good. Oh my gosh. They're so good, aren't they?
Unreal. Typical Porsche.
It feels sort of heavy, this car, but my God, it's agile, isn't it? The way it turns in and it moves around, it's pretty playful, and it lets you know exactly what it's doing. And four-wheel drive traction out the bends.
I love how the rear steer just tucks the car in.
Anyone who says that the Turbo S is not a fun car is talking out of their arse. This is insane, and it's so quick. I'm going to be hard pushed to go quick in the GT3. It's certainly not going to beat this in a straight line. And through the corners, this is insanely good. Oh my gosh. It gives you so much confidence. Is this part of the track that scares the crap out of me?
You'll be all right. Keep going. Flat. Go. Go on, Matt. You're good. You're good. Go on, Matt. Go on. Use all of the green. All of it. Off. Go.
Oh,
there you go. Flat. 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 Go. Go. Go.
Oh, it's so good, this car. Wait on power there. Got it. Off again. And across the line. Now we've jumped into the GT3. Let's see how this compares. You have to change down the gear. A lot less torque, but a lot more revs. So where the turbo will be flying past that other car, that Cayman, this not quite so much.
We are doing 230k though, so.
Oh my gosh. Turns in sharper and it's flatter, and you can feel that it's lighter as well.
It does feel a lot lighter, doesn't it?
It does not.
There's less mass under braking, isn't there?
Ah, this is a bit pedestrian.
Do them all, they're all waiting for you. You're like royalty.
Coming through. Whoa, the way it grips. It's a lot more planted. It doesn't move around in the same way, does it? It's precise.
It's flatter, there's no roll in it.
The front end on this is so good. It's noticeably better than the turbos.
That wider track's really noticeable, isn't it?
Is it more fun though? Depends what you're trying to do, I guess. Trying to put in lap times.
It's more precise, I'll give it that.
It's more precise. I'm enjoying that, but I also enjoyed the turbo's fun factor. The turbo's definitely looser.
The turbo's more like a comic book, isn't it? It's so fast.
I'm trying to concentrate on this bit.
Go on, get in there.
Oh, the way it just turns in. It's going to be interesting comparing the two through the chicane here, because I don't have the benefit of all-wheel drive. Oh, whoa, some rotation. Whoa, cock that up. He took my hands off the steering wheel. That looked ugly. It does move around if you really abuse it. Anyway, let's focus now, put in a clean lap. Oh, come on! So good through there. We've got all the revs. Whoa!
So this is so fast that it needs race harnesses. The safety belt actually hurts you, doesn't it?
So these seats, I'm liking the seats now. Also, I'm liking the Alcantara on the steering wheel. It's really helping me out. I was getting a little bit sweaty in the turbo and slipping around on the leather. Whereas this is noticeably just more grippy. You don't need to wear the gloves. Don't like racing gloves. They're a little bit too kind of creepy.
Get on it, go. Use the grip.
Oh, the traction. It's so good here. Just the way it just holds, the nose just holds, it doesn't push, does it, in the same way the turbo does.
Good.
Whoa, just hooks so well. Oh, the engine.
My neck is getting tired.
Oh, it's so capable. What an insane car. Let's see if I can not cock this up.
That's more like it.
Whoa. Here we go. We come across the finish line now. Right, I've done my laps. You've recorded the data. We've got it on the computer. So reveal to me, Sam, which car is faster in. Bearing in mind, I reckoned I'd be quicker in the Turbo than the GT3. You thought I'd be quicker in the GT3 than the Turbo. Give me the scores. What was my lap time in the GT3?
Okay, so in the GT3 you did a 2:48.
So, okay. What about the Turbo? God, I know, I got it right, didn't I?
And
Go
in
on.
the Turbo you did a 2:44.
Oh, wow. So basically down to the power, I bet.
Yeah, so in my defense, your minimum speeds in the GT3 were up across the entire lap.
So I'm going quicker through the corners.
Through every single corner and exit, you're faster, but you just can't overcome. So your minimum didn't overcome the horsepower that Turbo has.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought basically that extra performance is going to make more of a difference to me because I wouldn't be able to fully exploit the chassis as much as I'd like to. Although I did get more thrills going through the bends quicker in that GT3 than hooning down the straight in the Turbo. Now we also recorded Sam's time. So go on, what did you do in the GT3?
So in the GT3 car, I did a 2:41.
2:41. So you're quicker than me in the Turbo, even though you're in the GT3.
Yeah.
Question is though, are you quicker in the Turbo than the GT3? Because I thought you'd be quicker in the GT3 because you'd really be able to exploit the handling, but what's the scores?
2:37 in the
So
Turbo.
you're quicker in the Turbo as well?
Yeah, and it's exactly the same as you. It's just the minimums are all up everywhere across the lap, but here with those long straights, there's just no chance.
Now I've got some stats for you, right? So I've been measuring the fuel economy of the cars.
Oh, don't do that.
So round the track on circuit, we were averaging in the GT3 8.3 miles per gallon. In the Turbo, 5.9 miles per gallon. And do you want to know how much fuel we've used driving here from England and on track?
This
right?
is carbon footprint time.
Yeah, this is awful. We're going to have to plant some trees because we have used 500 litres of fuel. And do you know how much that cost?
No.
That's like 900 euros.
It's been good though, hasn't it?
It's been a lot of fun, and I think overall I had more fun in the GT3 than the Turbo. Even though the Turbo is really good and playful, the responsiveness of that GT3, it just gives me more thrills, and I think you also appreciate that responsiveness on the road. So with that in mind, can you guess which car I'm driving home in?
The GT3?
No, I'm driving home in the Turbo. But if I was to own one of the cars, I'd want the GT3. I'm going to let you enjoy the GT3 for the long journey back.
Thank you so much.
I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on those windows there, you can watch some more videos. And if you click on that box there, you can go to CarWow to see how much money you can save on your next car. Thanks for watching.